social media versus reality in the gym and bodybuilding and just in this whole like niche. So take it away. Who wants to start with this one?
Kate, take it away.
Okay, I honestly have a lot of things I guess like we could talk about.
I love it.
Like really, like y'all know I'm gonna ramble. But
Yeah.
there's the physical aspect of it. And then like, like nutrition and everything. But also like for like girls that compete and do bodybuilding, like there's stuff I want to talk about with that. And I honestly think that's where I want to start with. Because I was watching something yesterday, one of like a top Olympian, she's going to the Arnold. I was watching her training and it was very like lightweight stuff, very like high reps. And I was like, wow, she's really not like putting a lot of effort into this. And I think it was like shoulders or something. And I guess this would be like a first like good topic to talk about. We'll just jump right into it. But I think a lot of girls see videos like that, like, Laura Lee training glutes or something. And they're like, oh, that's how I need to do it. That's how I'm going to build muscle. And even starting my new job, I was talking to two of the girls and they were like, how did you like build like this gym body or whatever? And they're like, I just don't want to lift heavy because I'm so scared of getting bulky and everything. And like, I was just like that's not gonna do it. And I think
like, oh, don't let me get started on this one.
I've only been working here for 2 days. So yeah. Ramble. But I think a lot of girls see like Laura Lee, who has an amazing physique and a physique we all want and like are chasing, but she's took time to build that. And I think a lot of people just see her training now and they're like, oh, that's what I need to do. And that's definitely something I struggled with when I started getting into the gym. I'd watch like these top Olympians and be like, oh, that's how I need to train. And I think when you see stuff like that on social media, like girls training like that, you have to remind yourself, okay, this person did the work. They took the 5, 6, 7 years of training really, really, really freaking hard and just building an overall foundation. And now they can pull back.
Yeah.
It's so true. I just made like a TikTok about that too. It's so funny that we have like the same example, especially of it being Laura Lee. And it's like coming to that conclusion and we're able to look back on it of how it's like you see how these top level people are training and you're like, oh, I want to train like them. But they've been in the gym for like 10 years, right? They're doing lighter weights. They're doing more accessory movements. They're not doing as many heavy compound movements. Like for me, I'm doing like heavy squats and like what works, like keeping it simple because I got to grow all around, right? We're not already at the top level. And I think what's funny too is there's been that 2016 trend going around and seeing all of the top level competitors and they're posting 10 years ago at 2016, they're like on the Olympia stage. They have muscle already. It's like, guys, they've been in the gym for like 10, 15 years. We have to train like we want to build muscle, like how they were at the beginning of their careers.
I feel like for a good like way to put it for them is for us, we're like still trying to lift heavy and still build that overall density. But for them, they've done it for so long that now it's just about fine tuning their physique that they currently have because they don't need to necessarily put on a ton more muscle. Like obviously everyone has improvements, especially even like high Olympians, like everyone always has a way to improve, but for them, it's all about fine tuning what they've already built. They don't really need to necessarily completely like build. So for someone just starting out in the gym, it's going to be all about lifting heavy to build that muscle. And then once you're in there for a few years, you can start to fine tune. Like even for us, like, yes, we're lifting heavy and like trying to build, but we also are all still like fine tuning things that we've already built upon since we started.
It's kind of cool to see that perspective too for like even those of you guys that are listening that aren't competing or are never thinking of competing. It's a pretty cool perspective that, hey, these girls already have the amount of muscle that they want and they are fine tuning. Guess what they're doing? They're still in the gym, weight training a few times a week, resistance training just to maintain that muscle too. So it's a good perspective if you're like, oh, you know what? I don't want to pack on a ton of muscle. There's so much benefit to still resistance training during the week.
Yeah, and social media really makes like bodybuilding or even like a fitness journey for someone that's not into like competing, it makes it look like something that can be like so easy and like so simple
or like a year turnaround, you know.
So like when you see social media, like when you get on social media, the top like accounts and influencers and people people you look up to and want to look like, they're going to look shredded year round. They're going to have that perfect lighting. They're going to have that perfect angles, competitor or not. And I think it's really easy to get trapped into the mindset of like comparing yourself to that and thinking like, oh, this is what I need to look like year round. And just like with the top Olympians, how they train, your body needs to go through phases where it's a little fluffier if you want to build that muscle and have that shredded look. Because when you're shredded and let's say almost stage lean or stage lean year round, you're not going to be able to improve and you're not going to be able to be healthy internally, which is not going to let you grow and like build that actual muscle. And I think a lot of people see that.
And even more than just the physique. Oh, sorry, Caroline.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, even for someone like watching us, all three of us being like bikini competitors, like we are trying to put on density in certain areas. And so like for someone starting their fitness journey, even like looking at our social medias and comparing to us, you honestly can't do. So like if you're watching this, don't even like try and follow what we do, because right now we are trying to build certain muscle groups and put on density in certain areas. Whereas if you are just starting your fitness journey, or you're just doing this for lifestyle, or you're competing, but you're competing in a different, category, like your training's going to look different and you're going to be building muscle in different areas. So you can't compare your journey or your fitness to someone else's.
Exactly. And it's so personal to each person. It's also personal to what your schedule is. Like we always talk about when you're training and what that looks like for you. So everybody's different. And building off of what I was going to say with Kate too, like about how you can't stay stage lean all year too. And it's more than the physique too. We all talk about it. It's like, you can't be constantly in a deficit all year round and constantly trying to get smaller and get leaner and get more shredded. It's like you need to have that time where you're allowing your body to eat enough and to have energy. You don't want to be going around in your, day-to-day tasks and just being exhausted all the time, So it's a physique standpoint, and it's also a health perspective and an energy and your body and taking care of yourself.
I've been guilty of this recently. There's like one particular influencer I can think of, and I'm not going to say her name, but I just constantly am looking at her stuff, and I find myself like yesterday, it was a rest day, and like we're iced in, so I just sat on my phone and watched. Like Lane's making me watch Game of Thrones right now. But I just sat there.
Bradley's been trying to make me watch it too.
We just watched His and Hers on Netflix. Y'all should watch it. It's actually so good.
Okay, good.
I'll watch that with me.
Anyways.
I was just sitting there and I was just like, I'm so bored. So I was like, just getting on my phone, getting on TikTok and Instagram. And I kept seeing this one person, and she just kept coming up in every video. I was like, wow, she looks so good. Like, why don't I look like that? And I was like, just like super depressed yesterday because like the snow and everything. But like, it's so easy to just sit there and be like, why does my life not look like this? Why am I not like in a sunshiny place, like having so much fun? But you can't compare your life to someone's like best, like 5 or 10 minutes that they're posting online, because I think it's important. Like if you're on social media and looking and scrolling, you have to remind yourself like, this is just someone's like glorified version. They sat down, they edited this, they went out of their way to video this and film stuff. Because I know when I film stuff, like a day in my life, I go out of my way to try to make my space look like really clean, and maybe spend a little extra time doing my hair or something.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, it is, and it's not reality. And I love social media. I think it's a great like tool, especially with how all of us use it. But I think if you're on that, you have to remind yourself that constantly. And I've been really good about it, but like yesterday, it was like a lower day for me. And I mean, that's okay. But it's important to know, like, you can't just compare yourself constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like,
I think
you
that's
only see what that screen or picture showing. Like, you have no idea what's going on in their outside life, or what, they're going through on their own, or how their relationships are, or anything outside of just what you're seeing. And so like that is a major thing, and it's obviously easier said than done, but it's just like a mindset shift you kind of have to work on making.
Absolutely. I think it's something that everybody's working through too, especially just, I feel like now we have so much access to, like, it's so great. Like you're saying, Kate, it's such a great tool. It's so positive, but it's also, we have so much access to like what's out there and what other people are doing. And I think it's that constant feeling of like, oh, we could be doing more. We could be doing this next thing. We could be doing this thing, and it's always like you want to be doing more. So I feel like it's really helpful to just sit down and be like, okay, what are my priorities? What do I need to do? What's realistic for me? Like, even I was talking to you girls about this earlier before we started filming, and Bradley and I are starting a new routine, you know, like getting up earlier and making sure we're getting 8 hours of sleep. And I remember he's training before work, and he's calling me right now. I'll call him. But he was like, okay, I'm going to train 6 days a week. And some of my like new clients will come to me and they'll be like, I want to train 6 times a week, because they're probably seeing their favorite influencer do that. And it's like, take a look at what's realistic for you. If you're not training at all right now, maybe it's going to look like 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Try and, you know, I think the biggest thing that you can do, especially when you're looking at people on social media, is just take a look at your life, set some realistic goals, and try and stick to that, rather than trying to do like this big, huge new thing that you're seeing your favorite influencer do.
Yeah. So let's talk about what real like actually is and what it means to us, because like I know we all post on social media, but like what is real to us? The first point, off seasons, like I'm guilty of not always like posting my check-in photos like in my off season or like my growing phase. Today was the first time in a long time I've posted a check-in picture. But I think it's important to know, like, we don't always like love our check-ins in our off season, but we're still gonna do the work and eat the more food and be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing that I have tried to get behind is that my life is like not 100% aesthetic, and like I definitely try and make it, but it's not. And like I think that's the biggest thing, is like seeing all these influencers and like even people that I like personally know might have this like super cute and aesthetic apartment, and like it's all clean and put together and stuff, and like their life is put together, and that's what they show on social media. But like, just to even put it into perspective, like this is my background right now, like Carson's golf clubs and some random picture, and like it is what it is, because it's just reality.
And the walking pad with both of us with all the cords everywhere.
Yeah, so it's just like, I think that I get it, because it's their job, and like some people do just have the money and have the aesthetic, but like I try to make it look like it, and in reality it's not, and I just need to kind of tap into that.
Yeah,
I'm the same way, Caroline. Y'all know I just moved to Texas, and we were like shopping and stuff for Texas, and I just like all the things I wanted to make my apartment aesthetic, they were gonna just be like hundreds and hundreds more dollars, and I had to like really like emotionally disconnect. I was like, okay,
yeah,
I don't need all of this right now. My apartment will get to where I want to be, but also this is not where I'm going to live for the rest of my life, and also this stuff is just materialistic things.
Yeah.
I was watching something later on like YouTube or TikTok or something of one of my like most favorite wellness competitors, bodybuilders, and her apartment was not aesthetic at all. And I was like, okay, I have stuff that works, and everything I have right now, like I don't need anything else. But like looking at this girl that I want to be like, I look up to so much, she doesn't have the materialistic aesthetic things. So why am I constantly comparing myself to this other girl that like I know I like watching her stuff, but I mean she's not like what I want to be like or anything. So that doesn't matter like if you have like the nicer things or like you don't, as long as you like do the work and stuff, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and like, when you go in the real world, you see that like not everybody has those things, you know, it's all on social media, and it's like these highlights of things. These things are going viral because it's the 1%, you know, that's the prettiest and the most fancy. So it's like, of course it's not realistic.
It's what it sells to their population audience. But
I think what really comes down to it is like when, like you said, Kate, like you still look up to this person and like you still watch them. And so like what you were saying, you just have to kind of emotionally detach, because at the end of the day, yes, when you look at someone's content, it's nice when they have nice things and it looks aesthetic. But the whole reason that everyone is going to honestly follow you and your journey and look up to you, not like what you have and what your house looks like and all those things.
Yeah, I was having like a crash out because our apartment pantry has like white wires in it, and I was like, this looks so ugly, this is so non-aesthetic. And I was like trying to go online and like buy stuff to fix it, and I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm not about to spend $200 when my protein's going to go on this shelf the exact same. And then I was like, I'm just so thankful that I have this apartment, that I have protein to put up here. A lot of it's just like kind of pulling yourself back and being like, hey, like
I'm not gonna lie, I crash out every single day in Carson's house, and he knows it, and he's sitting right there and he can hear me, and I don't care. But like the house that I'm living in right now, like, when I film my YouTube videos, I'm like, I do not want to post this. There is stuff all over the kitchen. This is not how I would decorate it. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. If someone wants to watch my video, they're going to watch it. If they don't, then whatever.
Yeah,
It's like people like you for you. Like, they don't care.
Personally, when I watch someone's video, like, I don't look at what their environment looks like. I'm looking at, like, if it's full day of eating, I'm looking at their food. I'm listening to why they're eating what they're eating. Or if it's like a training video, I like watching their routine. But I think a lot of us, we're just hard on ourselves. And I think it's important to know, like, yeah, you see these aesthetically pleasing videos, but you don't have to do that. Just be yourself and stop comparing yourself, because that's just gonna, like, just bring you down and make life more sad.
I agree. And I think for me, the biggest thing that's like a big social media versus reality is like meals. I love a fun meal. I love an aesthetic meal where I can take a picture of it after and post it on my Instagram story and be like, oh, look at this like macro friendly recipe that I made. And I love that stuff. It's one of the things that gets me so excited. But I think one of the biggest things is like, don't be afraid to make your meals simple and unaesthetic and easy. It's something that I talk about. It's something that we all talk about. Something I tell my clients is like, a lot of my meals, 80% of the time, are going to be a protein, a carb, a fat. Like, it's going to be a chicken, a sweet potato, and some avocado. Throw in a bowl, keep it simple. I think like a lot of people try and make every single meal this fancy, like I fall victim to. I want it to be the best thing that I've ever seen and like new and fun. And it's like, don't be afraid to make your meals simple so that you don't burn yourself out and so that you can hit your targets, get your stuff done, and you can make it enjoyable, but it doesn't have to be a new meal, a new recipe every single time.
Yeah. And also, I think something I had to learn is you don't have to post everything on social media.
Yeah.
I used to put a lot of pressure on myself. Every time I went to the gym, I had to either take a picture or take a video and then post it.
Yes.
It just was stressing me out. And I think it's important to know you don't owe anyone on social media anything. You don't owe like Instagram your time and your presence every single day. It's okay to take a step back and know that you don't have to post.
It's honestly good to hear that, Kate, because like that's something that I'm kind of like working through too. Like I'll be doing anything or experience something, especially in wedding prep season and all these fun things going on in the bridal shower. And, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, I should be documenting this. I should be filming this. I should be making this a YouTube video. This could be a reel. This could be a story. And I'm like, I need to like pause and just enjoy it. And like even little things, like I'll be making my whey drip bowl and I'm like, okay, this has to be the most beautiful thing ever so that I can post it and be like, look at my whey drip bowl of the day. I'm like, I can do things and not have it posted. You know?
Yeah. That's honestly why I did my social media break. Not even for the reason of like I wanted to get off social media, but like it has allowed me to just like live in the present moment and not feel like I need to be taking a picture or a video of every single thing that I'm doing. And it's been the best thing ever. Like even just like going to the gym and like feeling like I need to record every single workout now, like I go in and it's just me and my workout and I'm like in the zone and it's the best thing ever. And like I usually take a pump pic after the gym, but like not feeling like I need to go in there and film every exercise has been just such a relief. And yeah,
I watched, there's another girl on TikTok I follow, but like I watch her stuff and I'm like, how does she like do this? How does she just video every single thing? I mean, she posts like 10 times a day and I'm just like, I can't imagine. Lane hates when I'm on my phone and I'm just like, imagine if like I just constantly was videoing myself or constantly having to edit something. Like it would definitely would impair the relationships in my life.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And also my relationship with myself. Like I can't just imagine sitting there like looking at myself all the time.
And it's like, it's a big part of our jobs just as coaches, you know, because that's like where my clients come from is they find me from YouTube. But it's like finding that balance of, you know, I think what helped me a lot, and again, this is kind of off topic, but just like planning them out and knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to have like posted for this next week. And then all the other times I know that I don't have to be filming things. I don't have to be editing things. It's just like, all right, literally the path of least resistance. Let me get this uploaded and like enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah. I also used to just constantly be like, oh, I can't post this because the quality isn't good or I don't have good lighting. And honestly, like who freaking cares? Just post like your pump pic and post your lifts and stuff. And that's kind of where I've gotten to. I'm just like, I don't care what anyone else thinks of me. I love just documenting my journey when I want to. And that's what makes me happy. So I'm going to do it.
Everything, all of this, like, should be fun. Like, posting on social media, your fitness journey, like, you should be enjoying it. Are there going to be days where it's hard? Absolutely. But, like, if you're not enjoying the process of whatever you're doing, life's too short, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, find a way to enjoy whatever you're doing.
How do y'all like recommend to people, like, how should somebody use social media instead of just constantly comparing themselves? How should they use it to, like,
I like to kind of think of it, and again, it's going to be different for every person. Like, for me, it's a big part of my business, but like, I like to think of it as a journal. I like to think of it as like a digital journal, and I'm sharing my life. I'm also sharing my tips and nutrition and training. And I think when I started thinking of it as a journal and less of, oh, I need to post something today, like, what are my followers going to want to see? And just posting from like the heart, as tacky as that sounds, I feel like it's a lot more creative that way. Like, that's what it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah. Coming off of my social media break, I feel like the biggest way that I would tell someone to use it is, like Kate said in the beginning, using it as a tool. And I think that the three biggest things I could say is, like, for me, this is kind of what I'm going to do, is post when I want, because I want, not feel pressured to feel like I need to post every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another big thing for me is using it to build friends and make friends and build a community. Like, I wouldn't have met you guys without it. And following people and like looking at people who support me and uplift me and are inspiring to me, but not people who I don't know and I'm probably never gonna meet. Never say never, but I'm gonna go through like my following and unfollow a bunch of people because it's people that I do compare myself to, and it's like they're so much further in a different journey than I am, or they're an influencer and they're getting paid for this, or they're not serving me anything good besides comparison. So I'm just going to go through and unfollow people who honestly don't serve me any point.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Someone once gave me the advice because I was really struggling, and I don't know who it was, but she was like, I like to follow people that like actually show the hard stuff and show their off seasons. I like to follow people that like sometimes aren't even like bodybuilders, but they are doing like a bodybuilder all season, because I was like struggling like going into my all season, posting my body. And that's been the biggest thing for me. Of course, like I follow competitors that are in prep, but I follow majority of people that do compete but do show their off season body and show like or share like educational topics. They share like knowledgeable topics. They don't go in and just like take fancy videos and just show like their stage leanness, or just have like a album of like leanness year round that they're posting, because that will mess with your head. But also like kind of like y'all were saying, community is everything. I used to get caught up in like how many likes I got, but now like I've just used social media to connect with so many like amazing people and amazing girls. And like I don't get the most likes, but I have so many people that support me or constantly like commenting or DMing me, and I'm just like such in a good place with like social media right now. And that's how I would use it. Use it for community, use it as a tool to like track your own progress and document your journey.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Love that.
Well, I feel like we haven't talked about nutrition, and I feel like that's a really big thing. So maybe we can get into that a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess the most like fresh thing I could say about this is like when I was on my gut protocol, I was like looking at other people like that were on a gut protocol, and I like was like, why am I eating pumpkin seeds and green beans and salmon, and this girl's on a gut protocol and she gets like cream of rice and like whey drip. And it all comes down to like, I know everyone's not on a gut protocol, but it all comes down to like, where are you at in your journey and what is your own personal story. My own personal story was I had like a bacteria that I couldn't have like carbs or anything. And I think it's important to know, like, just because someone else is in this like point B, you're still at point A. And to get to point B, like, it's not always a straight line. And I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I think it's important to know, like, everyone else is in a different part of like their own journey. And sometimes like you have to accept you're not where they are. And not like, yeah, I wanted cream of rice, but not once did I ever go to my coach and be like, hey, this girl's getting cream of rice. Why can I get cream of rice? Because you have to, like, if you're with a coach, you have to just trust, like, they've got you, they know what you're doing. And it's just like taking emotion out of it, honestly. Like, food is fuel. It shouldn't be like an emotional thing for people.
I think a big thing I've realized too is like a lot of people ask me how I got to where I am today, and it's not like I've done it all. And I think a huge thing social media portrays, and even nowadays, is like 1,200 calories, don't eat a lot, like all these different things. Even like some people who are bodybuilding might carb cycle, and like just to kind of like bounce off what Kate said, everyone's nutrition is going to be different, and you are not going to get where you want to be without eating, without going into that off season, without going through those phases. Like it's just not, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, and don't just think that someone that's posting about nutrition knows what they're talking about, or like their content equals the fact that they have credentials. Because like even the girls at my work this past week, they were like, "Oh, well, I thought oatmeal was bad for you," and I was just like, "Who told
I
you?"
know.
And
I feel like knowledge is power with all of that. Like I was even scrolling on TikTok, and like I haven't really been scrolling on social media lately, so I guess I haven't seen a lot of this. But when I get outside of that like bodybuilding wellness bubble, there I think it was something wedding related, and that was probably why it was on my algorithm. Oh, that's what it was. It was this bride, it was stunning, beautiful, and she was like, "This is why I went to Pilates 4 times a week, like for the year before my wedding," and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, how did you like get rid of the inflammation? How did you get so lean?" And it's like
Nutrition.
nobody talks about the nutrition side of things, and it's like that is how you do it sustainably, and that is how you actually see the changes. Like, yeah, Pilates is great, and yeah, obviously we all are good into weight training and we're big into that, but it's like if you don't change your nutrition, not a lot is going to change.
Yeah, Kate, that's really funny you said that about the oatmeal, because Carson's parents, his mom's like, "Oh, bread makes me fat. Oh, oatmeal makes me fat. Oh, bananas have too high of sugar." And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is hard.
I was doing a like check-in. Sorry, I feel like I cut you off, Kate, but I was like doing a client check-in this morning, and she was kind of having the same thing where she's like, I was talking her through giving those like bad and good labels to foods, and it was specifically bread, like you're saying, Caroline, or what were you talking about? Bananas are another big one. And it's like, it's just a carb source. Like when you understand the role that nutrition plays and you have more knowledge around it, it's like you can kind of take those good and bad food labels off of things, and it's so freeing.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem with social media is like it's labeled foods. Like
yes,
these girls thought carbs were bad and they thought fats were bad, and they're like, "Well, we can't eat any of this." And then one of the girls was like, "Well, the best snack that I've learned that works for me is like 5 dates and like a lot of peanut butter." And I'm like, dude, like it all comes down to knowing, like having knowledge around foods. Because like, yes, that's a great snack, but I was like,
it's whole foods. Like, yeah,
5 dates is about 100 grams of carbs right there. And like, I mean, this girl's like 4'9", and carbs are great. Yes, don't get me wrong, but I was like, you've got to understand like there's different sources of carbs like you need to get through, and all that,
and like the day as a whole, you know, it's like people are always like, oh, this one thing, but it's like take a look at your intake throughout the whole day, and when you have an understanding of how much protein, how many carbs, how much fats that you need to have, it's like, okay, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, this was a snack for her, like 150 carb snack, and then
exactly
anything but like what did she tell me? She's like Pop-Tarts and like a coffee from Starbucks. And I was like, dude, like if you would just eat whole foods like a rice, protein, veggie meal, like you would be in such a better spot. You would be full, you would feel better. But also like people think like they label certain foods, but you have to understand like it all comes down to like your overall calorie intake for the day.
Exactly. Like that's one of the things too that I see with, oh my gosh, like so many people that get started with me, they'll be like, oh, you know, I was doing really good. I skipped breakfast. I had a coffee. And then I was like, I had a salad for lunch. I'm like, okay, you know how much better you would feel if you started off the day. It doesn't have to be this huge overhaul of your lifestyle, but if you just started off the day, get in like 30 grams of protein. Then maybe at lunch you have something with another 30 grams of protein. Now you're not going to feel starving by the end of the day. You're going to feel so much more satiated. Like it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Carson earlier because he just entered a cut for like summer. And I reversed him like super high. He was eating like over 3,000 calories, and then I just dropped him like this week to like 2,000 or something. And he's like on 6 pounds, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, babe, guess what I hit on the scale this morning?" And he's like, hit the lowest yet in like a while. And I was like, he's like, oh, that's what happens when you actually go through a reverse diet and eat more food. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, that's how that works. I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I don't just make this up.
Yeah. It's sad though, because like people see social media as their only source of like knowledge, but social media like glorifies less is more, but then these people do less, and then they have these big binge episodes. And I was like telling these girls at work, I was like, you've got to get off social media and just listen to me. But like, just do like good research and listen to actual people that have credentials and know what they're talking about. Just don't go to your favorite influencer that has like the abs you want and look at her 1,000-calorie diet, because one, she probably doesn't eat that every day, and two, that's not sustainable nor healthy for you or her.
Yeah,
And like,
and
what
bouncing off of,
knowledge
like,
do they have to like back it up? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, do
I
they
would
know what
say-
they're talking about?
bouncing off of like credentials and people knowing what they're talking about and not just following social media. And we've talked about this before, so go back and listen, but we have a whole episode on why a coach is so important, and that is one of the reasons, is because they know what they're talking about and they can help you with that nutrition that social media doesn't show.
Absolutely.
A good coach for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Aw. Well, I think this was a good one. Do you guys have anything
That
else
was a
to
really
add?
great one.
No, I think just like a little key takeaway is just focus on yourself. Don't compare yourself to social media. It should be a tool. And just train hard and eat to fuel your body, and you will see results.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. Well, I think that was a fun one. It was a fun one to get back into the groove. We will see you guys every Monday, wherever you watch podcasts, bright and early at 5 a.m. on Spotify and all those other locations. But if you have any questions for us, you can always reach out to us too, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.